Also, I want to invite to the stage one person, our presenter this evening, who took action, just like myself and Dave, and so many
Give
others.
Bryan a hand.
And we have Bryan.
Hello.
His wife, Kristen, could not be here this evening because she has the kids, right? And it's a school night. But Bryan was very gracious to come here this evening and drive. How many hours did it take you to get here?
We're in Cleveland, so it was, I don't know, an hour and a half or so.
Ohio, that's pretty far.
No. Cleveland, Texas.
So as we go through this evening with Bryan, his numbers and the property he bought, or he's going to share with us this evening, I want you to think about where he is today and how he got here, and see what you can do to apply it to yourself to get where you want to go, right? So Bryan is a small business owner, right?
Correct.
And Kristen is?
She works in the trucking industry.
Okay, so she works in for a logistics company?
Yes, a small
Right,
company.
okay. How long have you been married, kids, and all that kind of stuff?
We've been together a long time. I guess it'll be 22 years we've been together and have 2 kids.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Been together since high school.
That's why he's follically challenged.
Yeah.
I guess marriage will do that to you, right? Okay, so tell me and tell everybody here in the room and also online, how did you hear about Lifestyles?
So I was listening to, again, talk radio. I'd never heard Dale on the radio. I just heard one of the guys on the radio that I listened to doing the commercials for Lifestyles. And then I heard them for years and years and years. And then finally, I didn't want anything to do with real estate. I got my wife to sign up for it was a web seminar, kind of similar to the case study, I guess. And we finally did that.
Free workshop, it's called.
Yeah, the free workshop. And that was in September of last year.
Okay.
And I harassed her a couple years before that to do it, and I never did. So we finally got in there, and then it was life-changing for sure.
So tell us, you said you were not into real estate, but yet what was your why and what changed your mind to join Lifestyles?
So I had prior to the small business, I was in the oil field being an engineer.
Anybody
and all
else
that.
in the oil field? There you go. There's your people.
So I did
They all
that.
have dirty boots like me.
Did that for 11 years, and then finally got laid off. It's kind of typical.
Yay,
but
laid
I was-
off. Oh, sorry. You're not supposed to say that?
Listening to David and stuff, and I was real in touch with what my 401k was doing and comparing that to the numbers that they were showing. I'm a math guy, being an engineer, and it just didn't make sense to keep doing what we were doing.
Okay, this is very good. Okay, so
So that was like COVID period. That didn't scare you at all?
It was towards the end. It was September
Right.
last year, October, yeah.
Everybody came back to life.
Yeah, it was kind of wrapping up. Y'all had already figured out all the COVID hurdles by
right.
that point.
Cool.
you know, it was 6 of us in the elevator today. And it was, wow.
Oh, when I
my
cough, guys,
gosh.
it's not COVID, it's tuberculosis. You're okay.
Yeah, anyway. All right, so let's talk about the property that you are presenting tonight. Before we go into the numbers, tell us how you found this property.
It was through the email blast, through Lifestyles Realty.
Okay, and as some of you may or may not know, the email blasts are these emails that you will get from our different real estate agents here. They have vetted the deal before they sent it out, and you'll have to have done your education, got pre-approved before you can move forward on responding to the blast.
Yeah,
But
and
he
I'll
did
teach
all-
you about how you get that stuff this weekend. Don't
Yes,
worry
and he will. So Bryan here followed all the steps that we taught him. He responded to the blast. Then what happened after that?
So the email blast was sent out, responded, and then I was number 3 in line for an option to buy the house. The following day, we went and looked at the property, and being number 3, number 2 didn't show up, so that bumped me to number 2, and then number 1 passed on the house.
Now that's powerful. Now why is that powerful? What does that tell you? That means 2 other people had the same opportunity as him. But most people talk themselves out of success. Do you realize that? How many excuses do you need not to do something?
1.
Just one, and you can make it. We got to pick the kids up or whatever. Not if you're going to make good money. Those kids can stay there.
Yes.
I just want to bring this up because when you come to my seminar this weekend, you're like, wait a second, is it hard to get deals? He was third in line. He still got it. You understand? So I just want you to understand that.
Can I ask a question real quick? So what was the process to say, okay, this is my first house. I've never done this.
We'll get to that. Let him get through his numbers. Then you're great that you're. I want to answer that question. You're going to be our first question, but wait till we get and remember your question. Wait till we go through the basics of the numbers first, and then we'll answer. Is that great? And then you're going to let me bring a microphone because it's not just the people in the room. There's communists from California listening in Hawaii. So for them to hear you, I have to give you a microphone. Is that okay?
Right.
But I love you, communists. It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So for those of you who are online or are not familiar with the Houston area, it's north.
East,
Sorry, I'm a woman. I'm
northeast.
directionally.
You can't say you're a woman. I identify as a potato. It's gender neutral.
Oh, right.
There's a Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head too.
Go ahead. No, you can talk like that.
Okay. All right. So, how big is the property? Tell us a little bit about the property.
It's on a little bit of acreage. It's I think about 0.7 acres.
It's pretty big, right? 3 bedrooms, 2 bath.
3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2 car garage, and a
Okay.
little shed.
All right. What are we looking here? A living room, I believe, right?
That's the dining room.
A dining room. Okay. So, just for you out there who are new, what's on the left is what we usually buy, and what's on the right is how we turn it to be. So we do not get scared by whatever the chandelier, the dirt, the nasty carpet, and such, because that absolutely does not bother any one of us. Because at the end, we are looking for the picture on the right.
Now, really quickly, guys, you got to realize it's like an ugly property, then it's beautiful. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
That's what we do here. We are not slumlords. I want you to understand that first. So, I know Bryan knows this. I'm going to see if this is how we test if he learned a lot in my seminar. Bryan, what is the smell of money?
Cat piss. They didn't have any cats. They had dogs. But
That's okay.
There was plenty of urine and feces
If you do
in the
scratch
house.
and sniff, that's how you know it's a good property.
I know, and I see they left you a lot of a gift actually, right? A lot of trash behind.
Yes, there was a lot of stuff on the property for sure.
All right. Next one is the kitchen. Yeah, that's a great job remodeling the kitchen. I would not have done it any different. It looks amazing, right?
Well, that's what they told me to do, gray and white. So that's what I did.
I like that. That's good colors.
Right. Another room.
That's the master bedroom.
Okay. A bathroom. Gosh.
Yep, the master
Right.
bathroom.
Yep. But all that should not scare you, really, because, like I said, at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you got all that free soap you could bring to your house.
Oh my
Got
gosh.
soap, razors,
Wash your kids with
Band-Aids,
that.
all kinds of stuff.
I like to buy houses like this because I get the guys at work to come and just like, hey, pick up
Whatever you want, it's yours.
They empty the
They'll
house
take
for
that
free.
crap.
Yes.
It means a lot to them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Anything they can salvage, take to their kids, I'm okay with. At the end of the day, I just want the house to be clean
Absolutely.
and ready to go for, rehab. All right, we'll go through these pictures. All look the same. This is typical of what we do. Nothing crazy. We don't get creative. It's not an interior design competition. It's really agreeable gray or kiln beige.
Well, we don't. That was the old color. Now it's stone mason gray, but
Oh my gosh, I still
but that's okay.
remember it.
So,
All right.
so what she's saying is, just so you know, and I'll teach you this weekend. Our model is this: best product, best price will attract the best people at a particular price point. We're doing middle class houses. Everybody understand this? We're not doing high end stuff. We're not doing low end stuff. We're doing middle class, which is the hard workers in this room. You understand that? So our renters are those hard workers. So even during the plague, remember during that, those essential workers were still going to work, still paying the rent. That's why we survived. During the worst economy ever, we made the most money. Isn't that weird? Right?
Yep. All right. So let's look at the numbers because
That's what tells the story.
that's what tells the story, definitely. So tell us a little bit about the numbers. You purchased a house for,
For $130,000,
okay.
and then like I said, it ended up after repairs appraised at $237,000, and then
Okay.
it was the rehab budget was $60,000, so we spent almost $60,000 on the property, fixing it up.
All right. So your cash out of pocket is $32,000. And David will go over this weekend and tell you how we got to $32,000. The next is we have the rent is $1,825. You take out the note that leaves you with
The 490 a month cash flow.
Very good, which is an 18% cash on cash return and an equity capture of $30,000.
Now, you hear how excited they were? Is that not a pee in your pants exciting deal?
It is actually very
I
good.
told you deals are anywhere from like 20 to 40 out of pocket. This guy put out $32,000 of hard-earned money, and he's going to make an extra 30 grand on top of that. That's like a 90% return. Who'd be okay with that? Not bad, right? From day one. But it's the big thing is what retires him. $200 to $600 a month. He's making $500 a month off that 30 grand.
True. So the way we can translate this, especially for the new guys, is if you take $32,000 and you put it in a savings account at Chase, Wells Fargo, Amico, whoever, they're going to give you $490 a month.
Yeah,
Is
it's not
that
going to
what
happen.
really happened?
They're going to give you 14 cents a year.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay, so here Bryan is getting 18%, and that is tax-free.
Yeah,
I
who
may
likes
add.
that that's tax-free? That's even better, right?
Yes. All right. So I want everybody that's new here or who has not done a deal yet to think about Bryan. Bryan joined in October of 2021. So it's 4 months ago. He bought the first house, he pulled the trigger, he went with it, he trusted the process, worked with the realtor, worked with his mentor, and he's making $490,000.
No, he isn't.
Sorry. $490 a month. I want you to describe, especially to the people on the fence who are members who have not done anything, who are thinking about this could be a scam. Just tell them about the first deal. How did you feel before and after now that it's done?
So we took the 2-day in October. So middle of September, we watched the free
You
seminar.
have notes?
Yeah, this is my
He's an
timeline.
engineer.
Engineer.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I thought this would be helpful for new people. So like I said, the middle of September, we did the free online
Sure, we have a
seminar. The first week of October, we did the 2-day that they're talking about, David's class. He taught it, and I sat in the front row.
Did I offend you?
I had a great time.
Did I offend your wife?
No,
I didn't do my job.
I got picked on a lot, but I wasn't offended.
You did get picked on, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Happened.
So a month and a half later, middle of November, I went on a single-family road trip. I wasn't ready to buy anything. I was still taking doing the education and the classes, but it was great. A month later, did the one in December on the 11th. Didn't get the opportunity to buy anything, but the other people took the houses that were in line ahead of me. And then December 15th, the email blast. The 16th, we looked at it, and then the 18th, we signed the contract on the house, this Huffman property. And then on December 30th, we closed on it, and then went through the rehab and all that. And I think March 16th is when the renter moved in.
So I want you real quick. I'll give you 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know what my job is, guys? To ruin your career. Isn't that a cool job? Ruin your career in 5 years or less. And every one of you, not only will I ruin your career, but you'll all end up in rehab.
And sitting in the 2-day, it seemed like the thing they say, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And that's what it sounded like all weekend. Sunday, we ended up joining the membership. And then me being the engineer, went home and checking the formulas and checking the math. And I'm like, they got to have some tricks in here somewhere. And couldn't find anything. And so I basically followed their map. And this house has gone just like they taught. I mean, there hadn't been any surprises, nothing. It's just been, it's work. It's not like you get money for sitting at home doing nothing at this
right.
point, but it definitely beats going
It's very
to a
rewarding.
job every day. Yes.
Now, real quick, I have a question for you, and then I know Hin has a question for you. You know, people here are new. This isn't like the bullcrap HGTV shows where the beautiful blonde lady comes in and she smashes down the wall, right? How much work did you do on this house?
I did a little bit. I'm not supposed to. David said I'm not supposed to, but I did.
Every
do
time
a
you lift the
very
hammer, you
small
lose
bit.
money, just so you know.
I did do a very
Write
small
that
little
down.
bit, but that was.
But you hired a contractor.
Yes.
You wrote a check.
Yep.
And they did the work.
Yep.
Everybody understand that's what I'm teaching, guys? Who likes that idea? It's not flip this house, okay? That's the F word. I don't want to hear that, okay? It's you write a check, you pay people, okay?
Right.
So, all right. Now, Hin, go ahead.
I remember the weekend that we were here, every time Dell said something about the 5 ways real estate makes you money and all I could think about, and I turned to my husband and I said, "This is illegal. This borderline illegal. It cannot be true." And I swear, every time, and Dale would say, "Wait, there is more." And I'll turn to my husband like, "What? There is more? For real?" And it was just like you get high and higher and higher. It was just like adrenaline. It's just like, is this really true? Is this real? And I'm here to tell you, it is real. And I am the result of it. So I want to ask you a question. You got your first house. I know when I got my first house, I was scared. Was that the same for you?
Not really. The point at which I was really sold, I mean, I was a little bit nervous, but again, I'd taken the education and stuff, which it's a lot of time you invest in your education. I wasn't really scared. When we got the appraisal back for the hard money loan, and I got that number, at that point, I was told, my buddies and them, I was like, this is real because this is the professional appraisal.
The appraiser's an appraiser. It's not a lifestyles person. Right. It's not your realtor. The bank sends out a neutral person. That's a real number now.
So it was so real that Bryan decided to buy another house.
Right.
Right.
Yep. So we got 2 houses now. We signed the contract on the second one, I think, sometime in February. And
so I want to mention on the Pine Needle Lane, the second property, the cash flow, he's been very conservative, but it's actually $4,800.
Oh, okay.
So the total will be $10,000 a month.
Who'd like
a
to
year.
Bryan gave himself basically a $10,000 raise tax-free. Who likes that?
Yes.
That's pretty quick doing that. Give me a hand. That's huge.
That is right.
So let's take some questions quick then.
Okay. All right. So journey quickly, short-term goals, long-term.
So the initial goals for my wife, since she's still working a normal job, is to get her to retire from that, and then get her helping on the real estate stuff. And then at some point we both do this full time, whether I get somebody to run my company or sell it or just quit, whatever I end up doing with it. But
cool.
All right.
Sell it, make money on it, so you can buy more apartments. There you go.
And your team, you worked with Sorrel, but like I said, he's not the only one, and I'm not the only one. It's all 3 of us here in Houston. You used Jennifer McCormick, one of our superstar realtors here.
She was awesome.
She is. And your vendors, you found your vendors on
the vendor
list.
list.
All
Yep.
right. And you get and David will go through all these.
So I'm gonna get exercise. Now I promised this guy right here. Wait, he's got to take a picture.
Okay. Questions, right?
It's okay. You had a question. I want to make sure because you're a new dude. So, what's your name, Bob?
Yep, I go by Bob. I was born and raised in Soviet Union, so I know how
Okay.
how that stuff works.
Das Vidanya. Okay.
That's it. So anyway, the question was, the first house, you never done this before. Obviously, the first guy passed, so maybe he had more experience and figured it's not worth buying that house. So what was the process? You said, okay, this is the house, this is the price, it's worth buying it. How you made that decision?
Great question, Bob.
So they teach you to just look at the numbers. Don't worry about the emotions of it. So going into the house, it was looking like between the cash flow and the equity return, I'm wanting to say 60 to 70% return on your out-of-pocket money. And me looking at my 401k, it's essentially averaged 10% over the past 11 years. So I'm like, well, it's 5 to 7 times better than my 401k. So sounds like a pretty easy decision to me.
And Bob, just so you know, this weekend, it takes me 16 hours to explain all this, how to do this. There's a scope of work. We're going to get 3 contractor bids. There's all these different processes. We can't cover that tonight, but if you come to seminars weekend, you'll know step by step how to do this. Because we're not going to present him a deal that doesn't make 2 to 600 cash flow. You understand? What's my goal? 10 to 30% return a year. Is he making that? 2 to 600 cash flow, and it's typically 20 to 40 out of pocket for a deal. Were they all in those numbers? That's what he's looking at. And we've done this thousands of times before that. We're just trying to replicate it. Can we guarantee everything? Of course not. That's why we do the due diligence. We have an option period. We go in there and make sure numbers are right. Okay? Great question.
Any other questions?
One more? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Let me get more exercise. Hold on. There's a lot of work for me,
Wearing those shoes out.
I know.
Hey, Bryan, did you finish your Magnolia house yet?
We just started on it about I guess a week and a half ago. Foundation's done, and they're getting
Great,
after it.
great. I wanted to find out what your big hits were on the 60,000 rehab.
Both of these houses are on septic systems, and they're getting replaced. So that's 9 to 10 grand right there. So that's a big deal. And then the Magnolia
It
ones,
costs money.
The Magnolia house is pier and beam, so it had 8,500 in foundation. So that was a big
But
one.
see, that doesn't matter. It's just a number. Notice
Correct.
he's thinking like an engineer, which is actually good for once. You know, usually they overanalyze and talk themselves out of it, but he's like, here's a number. That's what it is. And he probably put a 10% buffer in there for the what ifs. We always do that too. We're being cautious. Great question. Let's take 2 online.
Okay, what was the decision for carpet in the master and not vinyl plank throughout?
That was a recommendation from my awesome realtor, Jennifer McCormick.
Okay.
Again, I came into this not being a house guy and knowing stuff, so I'm just doing what I'm told.
There you go. Do you have one more for us, Jacob?
Yeah, and someone asked, what was the square footage of the property?
Huffman is 1,350.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. Thank you so
you,
much,
guys.
Bryan. Give him a
Thank
hand
you.
for doing that.